Hello everyone and welcome to Munch Media Plays Verbana Saga Free. This is the final in the epic trilogy put out by Stoic Games. It is a beautiful hand-drawn animated game set in this mythical Norse kingdom where the old gods are dead and an apocalyptic event has laid waste to the realms of men and giants. For those who haven't played the first two games but are interested in them, you probably shouldn't watch this. It's going to be quite a spoiler-filled playthrough. You know, we're playing through the game, you're going to have things spoiled for you. But for those who have played the game or are just interested in seeing what this looks like or just coming with us on this journey, then by all means continue. We're going to start by watching a recap, just to try and figure out a little bit about what has previously gone on in the Verbana Saga series.
When the sun suddenly stopped in the sky, calamity followed. Stone-armored dredge poured out of the north. A darkness bled across the land, and a world-devouring serpent carved chasms in search of something. The races of men and Val fled south in vast caravans, dealing with the dredge General Bellower and the treachery of Borsgard's governor, Rugger, to eventually arrive at the human capital of Arborang. Rugger's scheming and old rivalries with the king of Arborang poisoned their chances for safety. Can they restore the peace before the city turns on itself? Juno and Eyvind, powerful spellweavers who claim they can turn back the darkness, continued on to the Valka libraries, where a terrible confrontation left Manahar in ruin. The spellweavers now have no choice but to push into the darkness itself, protected only by a spell of light and a reluctant crew of mercenaries. Will they be able to drive away the darkness before all of Arborang and humanity is swallowed up? And at what cost? One way or another, the saga comes to a close.
Well, that was all quite ominous and epic and grand, wasn't it? Didn't quite go into as much detail as I wanted it to, but when like certain characters come up or certain story beats are referenced, I will just give like a quick background check as we go through. But yeah, the gods are dead, the apocalypse is upon us. We have been displaced from our homes and we have fled to the capital in hope of finding safety. As the series goes on, you can choose between these two characters, Rook and Alette. Rook is Alette's father. Depending on what choices you make in the first two games, one of these people unfortunately dies, they sacrifice themselves. But instead of choosing these guys, we're going to import one of my saved games from the Verbana Saga 2. This way a lot of my choices carry over. This is a very narrative-focused game. There's a lot where you are constantly faced with dilemmas, both on a personal and a political level. So for this playthrough, we're going to play... let's go with Rook. I'm pretty sure I made some okay choices in that playthrough.
We were as far from safety as we could have been. Me, Rook and Alette, in our small town of Skor. So much has changed since then. We traveled the length of the world to escape serpents and dredge. And still it was not enough. What I do now is madness. Somewhere in the darkness, I've been told, lurks an answer to all our desperate questions. I will make sure it sees the light of day. All I care about now is that the friends, no, the family I fought to deliver to Arborang, live to see the sun move again.
Chapter 16. Yeah, if you can't tell from Chapter 16, this is very much a continuation. So once again, if you are interested in playing through the first two games, you should not watch this. But yeah, here we are at Arborang, the capital, up here on this hill. And that big orb in the background, that was just there. That is the darkness which is enveloping the land. Okay, so this is how dialogue scenes are presented to you in Verbana Saga. For the sake of this playthrough, I'm going to read the dialogue. That way, we don't get into that situation where I, read this silently a bit quicker than you do, or you read it a bit quicker than I do, and we're just, waiting for each other to catch up. And hopefully this will keep things moving at a bit of a brisker pace. So yeah, here's Odlev, an archer from your village. Get up, they're coming again. Already? How? You're exhausted. For the king has given you sanctuary in Aberrang. It came with a condition. Do your part to repel the siege at the walls. A siege is being waged not by Dredge, but a man who helped you escape from Bozagard. Ruga. Ruga's loyalists are already back, and they've got a battering ram. Rook, are you alright? Okay, now we get to make choices. I will go through, when this happens, I will go through the options we have, and I will basically just talk through why I am making the choices I make. That way you guys know my thought process going through this. I'm fine, just tired. Remind me how we ended up coming all this way just to fight our own kind. If we were still out there, we'd be fighting the same war they are. Yeah, let's go with the empathetic choice. There has to be other ways. Attacking a city you want protection from makes no sense. There's thousands of refugees out there, but there's only one reason they're waging a war. Ruga. And he watches safely from a war tent while his bannermen assault the gates. Oh, that's one of the Val there. That's one of the giants. You can kind of tell by the fact that there's, pretty goddamn massive, and they've got these sick horns on him. That man poisons everything he touches. He's tried to take the throne in Aberrang before, the rumour goes. I almost can't blame the king for leaving him to the crows. The rest of them don't deserve to suffer for it. You hear a chorus of shouts from the gates, and a resounding cracking of wood. Aberrang's guards rush to their stations. They've broken through the front gate. Hurry, we can't let them get a foothold. Yeah, so the people outside the walls of the city are trying to get in. They're refugees, they're desperate people, just as you were. The only difference between me and them is that, essentially, I just got here first. It's a cruel situation to be put in to suddenly have to turn around and fight them. Yeah, so here we are in the, what I guess you would call the squad selection. As you go through the journey, you meet all of these different characters who are all distinct, who all have their own personalities, their own goals, agendas, storylines. Depending on the choices I make, some of these people wouldn't be here. There might be other people here. And they all have their own unique skill sets. So, on a very basic level, here are 3 archers, and here's a spearman. They all have different move sets they can use in these battles. Yeah, and this is kind of the turn order. So starting on the left to the right, Rook would get to move first before, say, Eric. This is a turn-based combat game. Let's jump into Rook and just have a look at his stats to give you an idea of how this works. So, he is a hunter, so archer. He's got an axe down there you can just kind of see. Let's click on this to learn about his abilities. So, for example, Rook here has this ability called Mark Prey, which means that I will do damage to an enemy, and then other people attack him after me. If I switch to Canary, she has a different special move. She has Pin, so she throws a javelin at somebody and kind of tries to pin them on the spot. Basic points are split into Armor, which is blue, Health or Strength, which is red, Willpower, which is yellow, Exertion, which is green, and then Armor Break. So I would use this to break a character's armor. I would then attack their Strength, which is basically your overall health. And then Willpower is what you use to do those special moves. Let's just jump straight into it. I'm not going to dive deep into leveling up all these people until later. Let's just get into it. I'm just going to assume that starting squad was totally good, and we're going to be fine moving into this without changing anyone. Okay, so this is what combat looks like in this game. Yeah, we have this kind of little area where we can set up our people. We will be fighting in this kind of square grid here. Well, it just in and amongst this, like, you know, beautiful, beautiful hand-drawn tapestry. Really gives you a sense of place. And, you know, if you zoom in, there's just so much little detail dotted around the whole place. The best way to think of this game in terms of how the combat plays is almost to think of it as chess. You know, we have squares that we move people on. Each of these different characters has a different move set, so you could say that somebody is the equivalent of, say, a bishop or a knight. There will be barriers in the way. All of your move sets and everything you do, all the enemies can do. This is a completely fair game in terms of the kind of what you were faced against. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put people who are more defensive. I'm going to try and set them up so they can move in and guard the gaps here, and I'm going to put my archers kind of in amongst them, and I'm going to place the big heavy hitting giants over here because there seems to be a gap, so I can like run in and hit them from that side. Yeah, this seems good. So yeah, blue is where I can... It's weird that there's no tutorial, actually. That's a very odd thing that they're not walking you slowly into this. Screw it, I guess I'm going to have to do it. So yeah, blue is where I can move. The yellow is where I could move if I wanted to, like, use some willpower, kind of exert myself, push myself a bit further. But I'm just going to start moving people into position in this first round. So yeah, I take one turn, they take one turn. Again, just moving my long-ranged people in behind these barricades, give them some protection. Seems like they might be doing the same thing as well. And let's bring Eric down here. Eric is another kind of hunter type character. He can really brilliantly just like summon a giant fuck off bear at any point, which is a favorite move of mine. I don't know, I can't remember why he's the person who can do that, but whatever, that's great. So yeah, use that every time. And then yeah, good old Eggle here, or Eagle. I'm just going to call him Eagle. I've never been sure how to pronounce his name. He's just going to run in between these barricades and just essentially just shore up and block that route. Now what he can do is a shield bearer, so he can basically just hold up a shield, take a defensive stance, and just tank damage for a certain amount of turns. So I like just getting him in the last two games, blocking places enemies can move and making choke points. Let's start moving my giants down around the flank. Hang on a second. Let's go health bar. Oh. Okay, I'm... Push browser over. Okay. Oh no shit, cool, it's oil. Right, I've just made myself way more defensible. That's awesome. Yeah, end turn. Let them try to move through that. Okay, so you see what the archer did there? They did like 5 blue damage, and what that means is that they've chipped off 5 of my armor, which means that I have less defenses going forward, and they can do more damage to my health. That's kind of how the combat in this breaks down. So I'll show you a bit here. So for example, this archer, if I attacked him right now with a normal attack, I would only do 2 damage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack their armor. I'm going to exert some willpower using these stars, do 6 damage to their armor, and then when it's my horse-born lady, the centaur's move up here, she will, I will show you, she will be able to do more damage. If I can get her in range. Cool, I can't get her in range, right, whatever, I'll just attack this dude. Right, so yeah, this tends to be how I play this game, is I do a damage to the armor, follow up with damage to the health. It's the very kind of basic 1-2 punch. So, this dude has had a bit of damage to his armor. I can still only hit him for 1 though. So I'm going to do more damage to his armor. This is annoying. I really wanted to show you this system right up front, so we could just get this out of the way. But it's not just not like that. Okay, so here we are. Now that his armor has been damaged significantly, being able to do 1 damage has gone up to doing 7. And the cool thing about that is that the lower a character's strength is, the less damage they will be able to do. So, because Eagle here has 12 strength, he is able to perform the maximum amount of damage. He's able to be at his full potential. If he's, say, damaged by 6, he can only do half of the normal damage he'd be able to do. So this becomes a game where your defensive ability is just as important as your offensive ability. And these guys being big giants, these are the people you want in for the offensive abilities. So see, right now, he can do 13 damage. It's like, these are the guys you want to come and just finish people off. Of course, my kind of foolishness of throwing down this fire means that to get to them, I'm going to have to charge across. But that's okay. He can take a few points of damage. He won't be as effective once he gets into fight them, but at least now I can get in there and flank them. And yeah, it seems now we're having a bit of an archer exchange. Once again, because the armor of this archer got taken down significantly, I've gone up from being able to do like 1 or 2 damage to being able to do 5. But what I can now do is use Rook's willpower, exert myself, and do 8 damage and just take them out right away. And that's why I kind of feel the willpower is so handy in this game. And it is essentially a limited resource. Characters only have so much of it going into a battle. It's almost as if it's like an extra wind of stamina. If they just start to run out of that, then they won't be able to do that extra damage. So it's really like a push and pull of when do I use this, when do I perform this special move. What special moves do I have? Poison tipped. Sure, why not? Let's just throw some poison in at... Let's throw it at this spearman. I really don't like spearmen. They can attack from further away, they move real quick, they're just bastards. So yeah, because that spearman had a bunch of health damage done to him, his attack on this giant here was pretty weak. So while it's a good idea to focus in on the armor initially, you do want to like find key targets and weaken them very quickly, otherwise they will cause significant damage later on. And yeah, because none of these guys are moving around this way, I'm just going to start moving good old Eagle up and get him to like start charging along at them and just completely envelop them with my guys. Okay, so yeah, you may as well just start wailing in on this guy. Now this is the other part of why armor is important. I only have a 60% chance to cause damage to him at the moment because his armor is still at full health. I need to cause damage to his armor in order to break through and have a chance of hurting him. So like, yeah, this dude isn't going to be able to hit me for much because his health is only on 5, but if I want to take him out, I still need to get to that armor. But as I was saying at the start of this, the rules go both ways. So right now, this giant has 5 armor, 3 health. He is in a seriously bad position. He will not be able to cause much damage, and he is extremely susceptible to attacks. So I need to bring in my other big giant, my 2-handed swordsman. Oh, son of a bitch, they laid a trap for him. Well, my initial plan was to charge him in and just get him, you know, wailing on them all so they don't go after him and kill him like they just did. Goodbye, Hakon. You will return. I say he'll return, but he will not be in a good position. That's kind of a great thing about this game. It's about when a character is defeated in combat, outside of that very crucial story beats, they don't die. They are, however, wounded, and if they are wounded, they will be severely weakened moving forwards, and you need time to let them rest and prepare for the next battle. If you have like a large pool of different heroes who have different abilities, that's not the worst thing. But the thing I love about it is that it forces you as a player to continuously engage with the other characters and to figure out exactly how they all play and what their skill sets are, and it forces you, by using those skill sets, to engage with all the different combat systems in this game. It's such a lovely little touch, and it also means you get to know them all a bit more. So yeah, let's just move Eagle into the middle of them all, and I'm going to use a special ability of his called Guts, which, as you're about to see, is where I just like say, fuck this, man, I'm tired of being a tank, I'm just going to fucking wreck fools. Yeah! Gets multiple of them, knocks them back. And yeah, he's still real tough after, you know, just being able to tank loads of damage and being out for fight up there. So it's really useful to have somebody at full health as the battle goes on. Just so you can like finish up everyone a bit quicker. And then yeah, with people like this two-handed swordsman, Gunnulf, he has like area of effect attacks, so I can just keep doing it. So I can just run in, kind of swing my sword in a circle like this, bang, get both of them. Doesn't do huge damage, but being able to attack multiple people at once is a huge advantage in any turn-based game. And yeah, this guy's only got 1 health left. Use my archers, boom, gone. Now it's a case of just taking out the last few of these people. Move my horseman forward. Yeah, see? 2 health gone. I can just exert this horseman again. Do all 7 damage. Done. I tend to find that the archers are the ones who just last the longest as well in this game. It might just be because they, you know, stand back from everything at the beginning. But I always just seem to chase archers around at the end of a fight in this game. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to hit his to hit her armor. Oh well. This is kind of a weird way for this game to start, if I'm honest. The Saga is a series which is primarily about the characters and the story, and the first 2 games have opened with quite long, drawn-out introductions, which really let you know the world. So I'm kind of hoping that once I just quickly finish off these guys, just going after their health, that we can actually like take a deep dive into what makes this series so fascinating. Yeah, again, just charge across. Because I took fire damage there, you see that went from being a 3 to a 2. I can still exert myself with the willpower. As you can see down here, I've got an overall kind of listing of my stats on my characters. Because I have 5 willpower left, I can still afford, and because I have free exertion, I can use 3 of that willpower to bring up my strength damage to a 5. Right now I'm just kind of going over these basics kind of again and again, just so that as we move forward in this game, you guys will understand why I'm making certain moves, and then I won't have to talk through all of the basics. I can focus more on what kind of tactics I'm going to try and use, why I'm positioning characters in certain places, and get into the more detailed, nitty-gritty stuff. Aside from all of the basics, because we don't want to focus on all that stuff. We want to get to the real good stuff. The tactics, man. The strategy. Never let me play Total War for Munch Media, or we will be here for hours while I talk about phalanxes. Excellent. They threw everything at this assault, hoping to surprise Aberang's tired guards and get her a battering ram through. It almost worked, if not for you. The enemy pulls back, leaving you amongst the groans of wounded and dying. The reason I said almost there, I misread that. I am a dyslexic person. This playthrough might have a few mistakes in it. That spineless bastard, Odlev sobs as she kneels over the body of a boy someone slapped a helmet onto. One of Ruger's fighters, but far too young. Today was probably the first time he'd ever held a sword, and the last. No more, she swears, dashing off towards Ruga's war tent across the battlefield. The retreating and tired enemy are slow to respond. Odd, stop, you shout to deaf ears. The others give you a quick look before chasing after her, expecting the worst. Cool, so that character stuff I guess just has to wait a bit. Another fight it seems. This is cool. I do like that it's picking up directly where Verbana Saga 2 left off, but man, it would have been nice to have a bit of a kind of slow build up into this. So let's see. Yeah, so because Hakon got injured in the last battle, he starts with -3 strength, which means A, he's weaker, he will go down easier, and he won't do as much damage. So it's always a good idea to just switch him out. Switch out any wounded people. So yeah, let's see here. Tell you what, let's bring in... Well, Rook and Oddleif both went running off in that story bit, so I'm gonna stick with those two. Let's just check out Hogan instead of Eric. He's a more like offensive kind of axe-wielding character. Eric's a bit more of a support. And because you're wounded, let's bring in a spearman, just to kind of mix it up and see how they operate. Once again, I'm going to do all of these little crosses mean that they can level up. I'm going to just do all that, I think, off camera, just to, or maybe like a little bit on camera and then just cut it, just because it's kind of boring to look at me going through all of these stats and select stuff. Right, ready for battle. Yeah, once again, like a chessboard, you can set up in the blue areas, move around in a square. The battlefields tend to get way more complicated as these games goes on, and the enemies and the variations amongst them all get way more complicated. This is quite a simple... Why does everyone want to fucking set fire in this game? Don't set fire to a tent. That's a bad idea. So there's a lot of people up here. So I'm going to have my defensive shield dude, Eagle. It's not his name, but I'm sticking with it. I'm going to have Eagle set up around here, so we can probably block them off. And I'm going to put my spearmen and my archers behind him. Have my offensive axemen kind of ready to charge in and help out. And yeah, I'll keep my giant here for the moment. Okay, so archers go first. Oddleif's really neat. Even though Rook is also an archer, the archers kind of have slightly different abilities and they can level up in interesting ways. So one thing archers can do is they can kind of chip away at health before taking down armor, which is super useful. The thing I really love about Oddleif is her special abilities. So she has something called Rain of Arrows, which is basically she sets up a trap. So she'll kind of shoot an arrow into the air. If anybody walks into it on their turn, they get got. So yeah, I'm going to just fire one here, put it at medium strength. And hopefully somebody from there will run into that tile and they will get damaged. Ah, one away. Okay, Rook can already hit this archer. So let's just do a basic attack on their armor. So the next turn, the giant can come in and just take him out in one hit. Going after the archer, I guess. Oh no, going after my shieldman, who can deflect it because he's a big bad boy. Right, you're in the fire, so you're gonna have to move. Let's just run you up to this spearman and use Hogan's special ability, which I absolutely love. The offensive, like axe wielders in this game have a move called Bloody Flail, which, like if they're part of a shield wall, does extra damage. But the thing I really love is that you can basically just kind of, well, flail on a dude. And it does a mix of health and armor damage, so it's like the best of both worlds moving forward. Sweet, so this fire is gonna damage anybody running through here, so I'm just gonna move Eagle up. And because he's... Oh, they did their fucking trap and hit him. But no, you may have seen the little shields pop up above him. If you put a character with a shield next to someone else, they act as like a defensive bonus. So yeah, let's bring up Spearman behind. because damage has been done to... A lot of damage has actually been done to this dude's armor. I now use a basic attack, go in, use exertion to push myself up. Bang, he's dead. 11 for 11. Sweet, so I think we've gone over the basics enough, so now let's just get in there and fuck some fools up. Get around this fire, hop in. A lot of damage has been done to his health, that kind of sucks. But whatever, I can do half of this person's health. I can just take half of her strength away right away. Shouldn't run through the fire, my dude. Excellent. Right, Archer. Let's do... No, this person's in the fire, so I'm just going to do damage to their health, and hopefully the fire will take out the rest of it. So as I was kind of saying with that chess analogy, it's like that kind of move is almost like something that, say, a knight could do in chess. They can jump over units, they can sort of bypass obstacles by kind of charging through them, charging over them. That dude kind of has a similar move where he like got to run through my defensive wall. Yeah, for those who haven't like played a turn-based strategy game or seen Verbana Saga, it is good to just think of this as a bit more of a complicated version of chess. I mean, hell, this dude's called Rook. So yeah, these dudes both have pretty high armor. Let's just chip away at that. Alright, Hogan. Time to start smacking some fools up. I wonder if I can take out that Archer. Great. Yep, easily done. I need to send in some folks to reinforce. Jesus Christ, that was a big hit. Right, I desperately need people to start heading down and helping this guy out. So yeah, let's just ignore the defensive stuff. Just take out these two dudes real quick and swing around. Because I do not want to have a giant going down right away. I need my big hitters moving forward. I can't have them injured moving forward. Alright, what's your special abilities? Right, whatever, let's just smack fools. Can I attack through... No, I can't attack them over that fire. That's okay, my archers will be able to do that next turn. And... do damage to his health. Right. Just run away. That's your job right now, just run away, just don't die. I need some giants on my team moving forward. Okay, excellent. See, so I can just take up this archer right away. We've already had enough damage done. That's perfect. Yeah, he's getting a bit too close. Okay, so I'm going to run Rook up here and try to just kind of block off that tile from them. And yeah, using Rook, just gonna whittle down this dude's armor. I've leveled up Rook in the first two Banner Saga games so that he has extremely high armor break. Because he's an archer and he's pretty decent in melee combat, he's somebody who I like having just up front, immediately taking down the enemy's defenses. So that my other characters can just run in and finish off the job real quick. So yeah, even though this is a 90% chance, I'm still gonna get, like 90% chance is still good. If I'd whittle down his armor more, that chance would be higher. But this should, yeah, that worked out okay. This is a fairer turn-based game than XCOM. There's no, son of a bitch, he killed my giant. There's none of that like XCOM bullshit where it's like, oh, this is a 90% chance to get through, and then you just magically swing in the wrong direction or something. The fairness of this game is far more, it's far closer to what you'd expect it to be. And yeah, this final guy, this second final guy, no problem. He's gonna go down real quick. Let's just zoom out again. Sorry if I'm zoomed in quite a lot. It does kind of make the image a bit kind of blurrier. I just kind of like being close-ish to the action when it's a bit chaotic like this. I will try to keep things kind of at this level a bit more going forward. Just makes the image look a lot nicer, you know? So yeah, when it gets down to either one person on your side or one person on their side, this thing called pillage happens, where they just say, well, let's ignore the turn order. Let's just get this done quickly. So yeah, at this point it's good just to say, fuck it, everyone attack. Just go after their health. Anyone who can get into range, just smack them, mess them up. Yes, hopefully after this we can actually get into the story and I can talk to you about like why the characters are great and we can explore all of the complicated moral dilemmas that turn up in this world. Yeah, and renown is what you use to... It's what you get rewarded with. It's your experience points. It's what you use to level up characters, and it's also what you use to buy supplies, which we will get into when we get to a marketplace. A stable of the Banner Saga games. But yeah, this is a hell of a city. The tent's interior become a bloody dyslexia. That might just be me stumbling, but I'm just going to always blame it on dyslexia going forward. The tent's interior has become a gruesome mix of blood and ash. Put your blades away, shouts Ruga, held by the throat. I am beaten, he smirks. Suspicion washes over you like a burst dam. I certainly hope the king shows you his full gratitude for your heroics. I can tell him to shout. I can break his nose. I don't even care. I'm doing that. I'm breaking his nose. I fucking hate this guy. Anybody who's played the second game will know you fucking hate this guy. I'm breaking his nose. Little fucking snivelling, backstabbing dick. I hate him. His nose crumples beneath your fist like a dry leaf, and he falls to a knee groaning. Odlev keeps an arrow pointed at his bristling clansmen, who move aside Jesus, who move aside as you lead a bloodied, grasping Ruga to the guards at the gate. Ruga is clapped in chains, and you wait. You spend a long, silent period with Odlev. I'd do it again, she finally whispers, referring to her reckless attack on Ruga's tent. Hours later, a message arrives. The gates are slowly drawn open, to your great surprise. King Meinhof decrees an end to the fighting. He welcomes all refugees into the city, shouts a man in Aberang's colours. But as captain of his guard, I warn you, do not test his generosity. Aelor wonders aloud. Welcomes. After all this killing. So yeah, this is the city. This is the city. Here is the... I'm assuming this is like the king's palace. It looks very palace-like. And as with all of the best medieval cities, you've got multiple walls, different sections of the town going down. I love that. It's like a nice little kind of nod to how things were historically built up. Obviously with like these sharp jagged rocks and this exaggerated style. This is a fantasy setting, but yeah, it's good to see them actually taking historical precedent and paying attention to it. These walls do look a little bit thin though. And yeah, there's the darkness approaching us. I mean, this weird gross green sea, I don't like that at all. I wouldn't hang out at the harbour. I mean, yeah, the tents here, the other refugees who've been flooding in, the people who you previously were amongst and have now been forced to turn and fight against at the orders of a king in a desperate position. But yeah, let's go to the gate. We can hopefully explore some more of this city as time goes on. Petrus is new. I've never met this guy before. He kind of looks like Jared Butler. Yeah, he's kind of a Jared Butler looking, like Jared Butler like 10 years ago, when Jared Butler was still in things like, you know, the Dragon movie. What's it called? Something fire. Hail fire? It's not called Hail of Fire. Sky of Fire? No, Breath of Fire. It's the one where they reenact Star Wars to a bunch of kids, and it's Matthew McConaughey's in it. It's quite bad. Anyway, Petrus. A crush of people slowly pile through the gates, squeezing close by. The guard captain calls you over as you pass. He has Ruga close at hand. You have my attention for dealing with Ruga. It seems your reputation has some truth to it. King Meinhof has asked you personally to be his honoured guest. I've been ordered to escort you to a gathering at the Great Hall, along with this cur. Ruga flashes the sort of grin that makes him so punchable. Look at his broken nose. Look at his broken nose. The stoic little prick. Good to see you too, Petrus. A captain now. You've been busy. Petrus restrains himself. You consider the king surprising orders. Yeah, I'm curious. I am curious. Why has the king decided to open his gates to everyone? I can't speak for King Meinhof myself, but if these people have joined banners with this snake, but if these people had never joined banners with this snake, they'd have found safety a lot sooner. Another of Meinhof's lies. That reminds me, I need to find a gag. King Meinhof will speak to you, both, when we reach the Great Hall. And do me a favour. I've got enough to deal with ushering in all these new refugees. I won't let Ruger out of my sights. I wish I could do better voices for all the different people, but honestly, I'm just no good at that. If I could do one for Rook, I'll do like a Viggo Mortensen. You can definitely tell looking at him there's a bit of the Three Kings in there. But yeah, this is what I'm glad that they've still got this in here. This is what the Bana Saga typically is. You and your clan traversing across vast, amazing landscapes with all of these incredible details about the world you're traveling through, and then sort of stats up here about the general state of your caravan. But yeah, let's just melt into this for a minute. Oh man, that whole melting thing didn't go so well. The rude interruptions of drama. The fields between the outer and inner walls of Aberrang are brimming with different people and clans. All stare as the masses enter. A pair of curious children run to you in awe. "Can I ride the horse, people?" grasps a young boy. His mother grabs him by the arm, blurting apologies. A man with a short banner of his own approaches. "Excuse my wife and son," he says. "There isn't anyone in Aberrang who hasn't heard of you." "We're a small clan," he continues. Of strong men and smart women. Give us the honour of joining our banner to yours." Oldliv gives you an uncertain shrug. Hey, this is the thing about the management in this game, is people will, through circumstances, join you and your group, your clan, but the thing you always have to consider is, how many people can you support? How much food do you have? Can you protect them? It's a payoff that you constantly have to juggle. But generally speaking, because these are kind of the apocalyptic end times, I wanna welcome people in. I wanna help them. So yeah, I've chosen to let them in. The man claps you on the shoulder, and many other clan members. The man claps you on the shoulder, and many other clans promise to sow their banners into yours as you travel towards the Great Hall. Now, that is an amazing bit of lore that I love, is as those different clans and those different people join you, they sow their banner into your banner, this red one here. And this thing, when it started off, was tiny, and then as different people join and different people leave, the story of your people is told throughout it like some kind of great Saxon tapestry. I absolutely love it. Barsha thrives in the shadow of a catastrophe as people haggle their treasured family heirlooms for a handful of grain. Between robbery and theft, it's been a real problem, Petrus tells you. Eventually we gave up patrolling the lower rings of Aberrang. Every man for himself down here. Real 1920s Germany vibes coming from that. You pass more than a few reminders of better times. Though gossip is traded freely, most items and supplies are outrageously expensive. Still, you can afford to take a look. So yeah, screw it, let's have a look at the merchants, and let's see what we've got. Here and there a piece of someone's old life catches your eye. Cool, so this is what markets look like. For renown, the stuff that we got for defeating enemies in those combat situations, basically dictates what we can get. We have supplies, days worth. Renown is used to buy supplies. It's also used to buy these items down here. Supplies, that relates to your caravan. How long can you feed people? How long can you make sure that they have medicine? The larger the clan, the more supplies you need. And so if you wish to kind of grow and help more people, the game, with its use of this single currency, basically means that you will not be able to make your soldiers, your heroes, as effective as they could be, because you have to drive more resources into the greater good. You have to help more people instead of just focusing on a select few. So yeah, we seem to have quite a lot of renown right now. We've got 12 days worth of supplies. That seems pretty okay. But just in case something goes wrong, it's always good to try and get more of this stuff and build it up a bit. And yeah, we've got so much renown. Also, we're a city that's, you know, in desperate situation. I do not know when the next time I'm going to be able to just get food. So yeah, let's build it up to 20 days worth, just in case. And yeah, screw it, why not? Let's just buy an item to kind of show you what these do. Yeah, each of these items have like different stats. That's the green below the description. And that kind of tells you how they kind of help, what kind of bonuses they give to people. So for example, this gives me +3 to all talent ranks, 1 strength attack and +1 break. So that's something that would be really useful to give to, say, a character who's a bit weaker or a bit more specialized. Kind of boost up their skill set whilst giving them a little bonus to how they fare in combat. This, on the other hand, +30 crit chance, +2 strength, -2 armor, is something that would be good to give to, say, one of the spearmen or one of the archers, somebody who can sort of hang back a bit, stay directly out of fire, and, you know, +30 crit chance is pretty good for those people who just get in there and perform like hit and runs like a little glass cannon. Just for the sake of it, I'm just gonna buy this all-rounder for +3 to all talents. And can I... don't know if I can... No, it's not giving me the option just to pull over and stop at the moment. But whenever we get to see the caravan resting, I will kind of go into the heroes and... I will go in and like apply items and show you how they affect people. Thought you'd get away with this. A man slurs nearby. He and his cronies are already drinking their way through the streets. Aye, we demand justice, he bleats in the face of a confused horseborn. Ahead, more horseborn rear up at spear point. Canary and her companions thrust weapons and words back at their accusers, unintimidated. I knew this would be trouble, Petrus grumbles. Petrus' guards try to separate the horseborn and the angry clansmen, but only manage to make things worse. You catch Ruka chuckling under his breath. Justice for Torlir turns into a chant, spreading until it infects a great mass of people. The horseborn came with you, they accuse. You're protecting murderers. Someone attacks and others follow. Yeah, in this world, the kind of the Viking-based people do not like the horsemen. They are basically the like nomadic people of the Eurasian steppes. They are nomadic, warlike creatures. And before this great catastrophe, yeah, people kind of had an issue with them, like, you know, riding into town, burning some stuff, stealing some stuff. But as you get to know them, you learn about their culture and like why they live this way, why they have to migrate. Yeah, it's a bloody good game when it dives deep into all of the lore. But yeah, another big giant injured. So let's bring in a more defensive happy giant. I feel okay with this lineup as it is. Actually, no, let's switch up the archers. Let's bring in Nid instead of Rook, just to see what they can do. And let's switch things up by putting our more defensive characters up front. Yeah, have our archers at the back. Sorry, just checking to see if there's an item I want to put back in anyone. Yeah, sure, why not? So the little gold rings mean they have an item. Let's just chuck one on this dude. What does this do? -1 strength on target. Oh, cool. That seems like a way more handy thing for this dude to have. So screw it, I'll just show you how leveling up works. Oh, he doesn't have enough renown. Whatever. I'll show you how putting points in works. Right, so this says I've got 8 points available of experience points, and I can have 15 in this. So I can just click on that, add it up. I can have 10 in this, click on that, add it up. And once this gets full, you can kind of click on this and then start unlocking kind of extra bonus abilities. But for right now, we're just going to get him leveled up to the maximum and everything. Because of that, I'm going to throw on... Oh, I forgot, I didn't level him up. Sorry about that. Well, let's just get into the combat. This is my first ever playthrough recording one. So yeah, I might... it's going to take me a little bit to get used to this and just kind of get the flow of things down and, you know, remember how to explain stuff properly. I apologise profusely if you are watching this thinking, what an amateur, what a bloody amateur. He can't put voices on for people, he's dyslexic, he can't read shit, he's not making the right moves, he's not showing us the right stuff. It's early days, buddy, give me some time. So yeah, these guys seem to be pretty grouped. Oh no, there's another group, right, so they're pretty grouped up there. We've got this other little group here. I want to put my defensive people up here to kind of distract this group, I think. Have axeman, spearman, and an archer down here ready to just quickly kind of perform a quick strike on these guys. I'm going to have one archer back here to kind of whittle down these guys from a distance. So yeah, let's move up the giant, who instead of being that big two-handed, axeman or swordsman, has a shield, making him a far more defensible character. Very useful to have just up front, taking on anyone who comes at him, because the giants are so big that they kind of get bonuses of damage to smaller characters. So even when you're playing defensively with one of the Val, you can cause damage to kind of humanoid characters, which is just so handy. And with these two with their shields lined up, a bonus to defense, which is always welcome. And yes, yeah, let's just get Eagle with his shield wall up, get him defensive, and hopefully keep back the first wave of attack from these dudes. Okay, well, you know what, this dude has kind of run into range if I exert will, so I'm just going to burn that early on, use bloody flail, to cause damage to armor and health, and just do what I can to take down this group very quickly so I can flank in and hurt these main guys. So yeah, you see there, that human did like 4 armor damage to the Val, but because he's like a defensive kind of counter-attacking character, I did 1 damage to his armor. Whereas Eagle here, good old human shield bearers, they don't get that little bonus, which is why it is always cool to have like a defensive giant up front. But anyway, Spearman. Again, just like exert will early on, bring him up, cause extra damage right from the jump. He should be able to go down next turn. Okay, excellent. Yeah, move Nid, another little human archer, up behind my shield wall. Just start whittling this dude down from a distance. This guy next turn will be able to charge in and hurt my archer. So what I'm gonna do is move her up, finish off this guy, and bring these two rounds to attack him, since they have turns before him. That's the thing in this game. As you kind of get used to the basics of the combat, it becomes a game about figuring out the turn orders, trying to like plan moves 2 or 3 steps in advance, and then just taking advantage of little bits like that where I could just take him out in a single hit, so I just may as well do it to save time and to make things a bit easier for myself moving forward. Because even if there's an enemy character who's low on strength, they can still do lots of damage to a character's armor. So somebody who so let's say I did 5 damage to this person, which is what I can do in this turn. It would be foolish of me not to then follow it up, because they could still use their special abilities and still take down my character's armor, making it easier for, say, this dude with full health to come in and fuck him up. But because he's in range of my archer, let's just go in. Once again, the 1-2 punch, bloody flail, hit both things, bring the spearman, mess him up next turn. Okay, so that makes me a little bit worried. I do not like these kind of people being close to my archers. So yeah, best I can do is just, continue with this plan on this front and try and move her away when it gets to her turn. Let's just do 5 damage. Hopefully the archer can finish him off pretty quickly. Yeesh. So yeah, see that? If he was on 12, he could have come up and really, really damaged my archer. Because I'd already done lots of damage, he could only do a minuscule amount of his full potential. Alright, what's this dude on? Okay, I'm gonna move my archer back. Attack him. I'm just gonna go full on against attacking his armor, because Nid here not the strongest, so for example, if I try to attack his health, only 80% chance. But the old 1-2 punch, take down his armor, and hopefully one of these guys can smack him up next turn. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna start moving Nid in up here. Finish off this dude. And then next turn she should be able to fire in from this flank and hurt dudes from there. Right. My giant's not doing the best on his armor. I suspect that these guys are going to come in and start causing serious damage to him. But I just need to start hurting this guy before he goes after Nid, the archer. And I forgot that I gave him something that lets him, that means that when he hits somebody he knocks him back, so he's brilliantly just moved that warrior closer. Ah, fuck, I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. Note to self, get him to punt people that way next time. Shit. Okay, well, your turn, Eagle, you're just gonna have to go back and sort this dude out. Wait, what? I guess these guys weren't willing to all die for this. Bunch of cowards. Guess we fought them off. So yeah, here are the Horseborn. They're, yeah, basically centaurs, but kind of modelled off of, yeah, like, you know, the Huns, Mongolians, you know, kind of Eurasian steppe war tribes. Canary, the usually charismatic leader of a large horseborn tribe, wears a deep scowl. Why men attack? Why so much shout? Everyone thinks your horseborn pillaged Ptolia. This is important, Canary. Is it true? City to east? Yes. Killed many man, take many thing. You need more? Odlev mouths opens, but finds no words. You admit it. You plundered Tolia and killed the people there. Many food, many weapons bring to you. You eat, you take. You slaughtered them and gave their things to us? Canary looks from Odlev to you, puzzled, then back to Odlev. Her front hooves pound the dirt as she gestures in the air. You kill at walls. You kill on road. Man, horseborn, every. No, that's... Damn. That's not the same thing. She doesn't get the difference. They must have done this before we even met them. How are they going to explain this away? There's nothing to explain. We either defend them or we don't. Canary. I mean, the horse... Okay, so this is kind of what I love about this game, is when it proposes these things to you. You as somebody who's fled across this land have had to do some dirt. I know that having played for these first two games, there's plenty of people I've had to kill, there's plenty of battles I've had to fight, there's things I've had to do in order to get food to survive that are irreprehensible. I'm not going to turn on my allies at this point and hypocritically blame them. So yeah, I'm keeping them. I know that this might mean that some of the Viking people, these townsmen, these townsfolk behind me will be angry moving forward, but I'm not gonna fucking turn on someone for doing the same stuff that I've had to do in desperate times. She trots nervously in place, then exhales through her nose and frowns. We listen for now, but we are not pets. Okay. I have to hope this is all going to be worth the trouble, Outlive. Me too. Maybe not the tone we're going for. But yeah, once again I apologize if the way I'm reading this isn't the best. But I still figure it would be better than just reading subtitles at different speeds. It really is a beautiful game just to see people travelling through. It's such a wonderful world. In the crowds you noticed new Val, who had just entered the gates. Hakon is off to meet them, and eventually you catch up. Fast lot! Motherfucker, where have you been? Ah shit, he's one of my favourite people from the first two games. Fuck, he does not look good. Oh man, Fast lot, what have you been up to? Anyway, a familiar face glares in your direction as he speaks. Eventually we cross paths with Bolvak and his ravens. The old ford, you remember Borrak? The berserkers, hard to forget. I thought I did some hard marches in our day, but not like this. Borrak went his own way. Luckily we arrived when we did. I wasn't sure Aberrang would still be here, or where you went. Have they treated you well since we parted, Hakon? Well enough, all things considered. Fastlot gives you a cold stare. Don't think I've forgotten why Enhart fell, little one. I don't know why I'm making him semi-Welsh, but whatever. All forgiven. Yeah, so, Einhertoft was the giant's capital. It was attacked by the Dredge, who are like these kind of warlike, monstrous creatures no one really understands, who are also fleeing the apocalypse. Decisions made in the first game meant that you kind of destroyed a bridge that connected that city to the outside world. You destroyed it to try and protect it. It was very symbolic to the giants who lived there. They fucking hate you for doing it. So in my options here, I could basically just try to explain to him why I had to destroy that bridge, or I could ask him. I'm going to ask him questions about his. I'm going to ask him questions about his previous journey. I want to know how he survived Bellower, who's like the leader of that Dredge army. I want to know how he survived him at Enharft. With no thanks to mankind, Thankfully Val are made of sterner stuff. So what is going to save us all now? Where is your faint-hearted weaver maker? Gone to the north, into the darkness. Juno and Evand claim they can solve this. Is that so? Juno and Evand? Makes you wonder who started trouble in the first place. Grofheim is gone, Enhaft is gone, Jondir gone. The dredge on the other hand, Bolvac said he ran across Islas near Bindau, and Bellower's probably on his way here right now. We defeated Bellower at Bosengard, I saw it myself. Bellower doesn't die? And what of the others like Walker or Sif? We do not know where they went. Is Ubin around here somewhere to write these things down at least? Afraid not, he decided to go south to Horseborn lands. Of course he did. Then I guess with the last vow, Hakon, let us bring ruin to the dredge like the old days, of our bones, the hills. Hakon breaks into a wide grin, clasping forearms with Fastlot, a strange gladness about them. Of our bones, the hills. The dredge they were naming there, like the Eyeless One and Sif, they're like other generals of, or at least what I think are generals. They're ambiguous as to their role. They are the main forces driving that race, and kind of propelling them on their southern journey in their kind of their desperateness to flee the incoming darkness. The reason they're not like with you and the giants in this city is your cultures have a history of war with the dredge. They are this kind of unknowable enemy. They are so different and so alien that they are nigh impossible to understand, which unfortunately has led to centuries of conflict. The path crossing the field from the outer gate to the inner black rock is longer than it looks, but you walk through the dense, smoky streets, escalating towards a rise in the black rock plateau. Rugger shuffles beside the guards who carry his chains. He has been unusually silent, but now he speaks softly in your ear. Careful hunter, he says, even before you hear the shouts. Looks like trouble's ahead. It is trouble. A few yards away, you spy one of Petra's guards face down, an arrow in his head. Petrus curses angrily and runs ahead just as armed men appear from the crowds, surrounding him and attacking his guards. It would be a tragedy if something happens to him, Rugger taunts. My options: join Petrus to repel the attackers, stay ready and stay close to Rugger, stand aside and let things play out. That seems dumb. I don't trust Rugger. He is such like a little backstabber. I will not be surprised if he's got an escape plan, so I'm just going to stick with him, and if he does anything, fuck him up. Okay, it's lucky that you do, as the guard holding Rugger's chains topples from an unseen axe. Before Rugger can slink away, you knock him off his feet, just as assassins approach from a flank. Fucking knew it, Rugger. See, like, if I'd made a different choice for that narrative feat would have played out very differently. And yeah, I imagine whether or not I succeed in this combat situation, it will also play out very differently. Let's bring Rook back in just because the little story thing said I was there. Let's bring him in instead of Oldlev. And let's bring in Horseborn. Let's bring in a close combat one. Roesh? Yeah, let's say his name's Roesh. Let's bring him in instead of Eagle. Let's be offensive on this battle. Let's just get in there and mess fools up. Again, another thing of having different characters with different skill sets, you can just kind of switch up your gameplay however you like, and sometimes it works better for certain combat encounters, like say there are certain enemy types you will want to play more defensively. But as you're just going through and you're kind of having similar-ish groups of people attack you, it's nice to just be able to, you know, switch it up and mess around. And who's this? Who's this guy? I like him. This knockoff Gandalf-looking dude. Oh, and this dude. Ah, good mohawk down here. Sorry, I'll stop getting distracted. Right, let's position fools. Okay, defensive people up to meet their main line. Let's have horse here, archers in behind him, and then Rook, Hogan, and Ludin, who's a spearman. Ludin, just for backstory, is the prince. He's the son of the current king. He kind of meets your group as he is on a diplomatic meeting, and kind of has to join your refugee group, and brings in his kind of royal guard, just out of necessity of needing people to travel across these dangerous lands with. He is a prick to begin with, but as the game goes on, as he is humbled by seeing how refugees live, how the poor people live, how the working class live in this society, he kind of learns the errors of his way, and I kind of want him to become king now. But anyway, enough backstory. Let's fight some fools. Right. Move up main defensive line. Let them come to me. I didn't want them to come to me that quickly. That's a lot of damage right up away. So yeah, horse. Just charge in there and mess this fool up. And yeah, this is the cool thing about the Horseborn, who do melee combat, is they are just like hit and run units. They kind of have this small circle where they can move back certain points, which is so handy if you just need to like get in and attack from the sides or the flanks. Oh Jesus Christ, he's almost killed mid right away. Positioning, see, positioning is key. Okay, fuck me, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, let's just move our shields up to help protect this guy. Rook can take him out whenever it's his go. Abilities bloody flail, because it's the best thing ever. Actually, no. Tell you what, Ludin, you just move up. Finish this dude off. Oh, we're not finishing him off. Shem, just like cause enough damage to him. Because I want the Horseborn to be able to run up and start attacking these guys next turn. Do you have any... she doesn't have any, like, Okay, she's got this ability called Bird of Prey, which means she can fire from further away and still cause a bit of damage. So instead of, like, charging her, running her into the back to try and hide her, I'm gonna, like, move her over in this direction, so she's still far enough away to, like, help chip away at damage. But yeah, because her health is at 1, she now only has a 40% chance to cause damage to his health, which is real bad. Let's just do damage to his armor. You know, he's gonna die anyway next turn, but may as well. Giant is really not doing well. Right, let's just... Nope. Almost forgot to move him first. You have to move first before you can attack as well. Again, positioning is everything. But yeah, let's just finish this guy off and then swing these guys up and around. Not doing so hot in this fight. I think I might have chosen my starting positions very poorly. So see, like, that's two of my characters on 1 health already. What can I do? Malice. Taunt target? No, I don't want to taunt anyone. Battering ram. A battering ram on these dudes seems pretty damn useful, I think. Just knock him back, force him to run in again. Hello? Looks like you could use some help. I recognise him. Who is he? What the fuck is that? He's definitely turned up in one of the games before. Godmunder. Oh shit, I know who he is. Right, yeah, cool. This dude is like a little side character who was trying to defend his town in the last game and got forced out by the dredge. I guess he made it here. That's awesome. He's never helped with your guys before, and it looks like I need help because fuck, that was the giant just taken out. What are your abilities? Mule kick, trample. Okay, trample is a move I really think is pretty cool. So for example, I run here. I am technically out of range, but if I use trample, I can like charge forward. Again, kind of like a knight from chess. I can bypass somebody, but with that move, I also cause damage to them. And then I can like run down here, join my shield wall again. They've done the same thing, see. But that's okay, because right now I just need Hogan to keep his shield up, cause damage to anybody who comes close to him. And yeah, the more shields you have in there, the better defensive line you can have. So it's always worth to try and take out one of these guys as quickly as possible. I just don't have the ability to do that right now, so I'm going to go after this spearman. Kind of bypass his armor with my spear, from which I can attack diagonally with spears. Swords and axes is only kind of forward or back. Again, kind of thinking with a rook with a chess analogy, you know, that's like a castle or a rook. This is like a bishop. So yeah, let's just cause half of his health to go and just weaken him right up front. And Nid, even though she's hurt, can hopefully, with her special ability Bird of Prey, yeah, she can hit people from this distance. Fire arrows at a greater range with 100% chance to hit, which is so handy because her health's been taken down. So I'm going to go after... it can do 0 damage. I was about to say I'll go after the guys in the shield wall, but I guess that's just not going to hurt as much. Whatever, let's just do 1 damage to this fool. Oh, it was a critical, so I got 2. Brilliant. Every little helps in this game. Right. I really do want to start whittling these guys down. So yeah. Let's just aim at this dude. I can do more damage to his armor. Take off half of his armor in a single hit. And hopefully that negates his defensive bonus. Oh jeez, -7. That's bad. I should probably level up my people next turn and actually like apply all those ability points that it's saying I have. Because yeah, having half of my health done in a single hit is a bit rough. What are your abilities? Bloody Flail, Stonewall. Cool, so he's like a... Oh, that's neat actually. He's like both a defensive shield bearer and an offensive one. He's like a combination of Hogan and Eagle. That's great. So let's just run you in the back. Bloody Flail. And let's go after the shield bearer, who's resisting everything because he's got his defenses up. Shit. Oh man, my horseborn's getting a real kicking as well. Ooh, I have an idea. Right, I'm going to run up beside this shield dude who's got all of his defenses up. I'm going to use an ability called Mule Kick, which is like the battering ram one we saw earlier. And I'm just going to knock him away from everyone else, so he loses his defenses and he can't provide defenses to anyone else. You know, it just like negates their special abilities in a way that is so handy moving forward. And yeah, bring in Hogan, who's still got his health up. Just take off half of this guy's health. Again, like I said at the beginning of this, it's always handy to have at least one person who's got reasonably high strength in a battle moving forward, so, you know, like reserve units until a later date. And yeah, because the people I can move after this are archers, so I'm going to bring my spearman all the way around, get him into the shield wall, hopefully finish this guy off with 80%. Yes, and then my archers can start whittling this dude down from a distance. Although he's just put up a shield wall, so I suspect... So next turn, actually, because he's put up a shield wall, I'm just going to go after the archer and the spearman. Let's try Bird of Prey again. Hopefully I can hurt this guy a bit. Excellent. I might switch out Nid for somebody else next battle. I'm pretty harsh with like my characters in this. If you don't do good in one fight, I'm subbing you out. Someone else is coming on board. Let's just go for this shield guy. It's red because it means that he's got his defenses up, so I do less damage. But if I exert my will, I can just bypass his defenses. And yeah, because of that battering ram, and because of that mule kick, which knocked him back, he can't get back into the fight to help bolster his ranks, which gives me time to take out these guys. Let's just trample him. See, moves me into shield wall. does enough damage that he can't do anything next turn. I have no idea where... Did she... I think she shot up an arrow as a trap and then walked into it a turn ago. That was a weird move. Oh, screw it. Hogan, run up. Start messing with this full bloody flail. You know what you need to do. Actually, tell you what, I'll just show you this real quick. See this horn up here? Every time you kill someone, you get like kind of 1 point in it. So if I blow it once, that gives my guys like a morale boost. And so Hogan, who previously only had 2 willpower, now has 3. Again, like another resource management thing. You can give that to somebody early on, give them a little boost, or you can try and wait until you've used up all of your willpower and you need that little extra push. But then you also have to do it to figure out which character needs it the most. Like, do you need to give it to somebody who can break armor? Do you need to give it to somebody who's got a special ability that will really help you out in this situation? Or do you just need to give it to somebody so they can just get him that one final blow? Somebody who doesn't need that. Good old spearman, just gonna hurt him, knock him back, using a special ability. Yeah, last man standing, he's not gonna last long. Bird of prey. Just get everyone else to run up and smack him. Done. Hey, thanks to Good Wonder. Thanks for charging in there, dude. That is a damn good dude to have come in. If he wants to join my party, I'm definitely gonna let him. Petrus rallies his men with tremendous skill. You quickly repel the ambush with his help. Wiping his blade clean of blood, Petrus then leads into Rudger hard with his fists and feet until the man is curled in a quivering ball on the ground. Man, it's good when people punch Rudger. The thrashing ends when Petrus is satisfied, and the fighter who joined you in battle paces nearby. Bastards, he utters. Utter bastards. It's been a miserable hard road, and I wasn't willing to watch good men go down like that. I'm Gudmundr, he continues. Lots of us here from Bindal. I was captured there myself. He glances at his banner, trampled and bloody, and notices yours. Though I'll admit, we could be doing a lot better. You take the hint. We don't have too many. You're more than welcome to join us. Fuck yeah, dude. I swear it, Gudmundr replies. He gathers his tattered banner and sends word along to his people. Again, see, that's the thing, is like, people you meet in this game react to your banner, they react to your history. I absolutely love it. Petrus and Gudmundr chat as you continue to the Great Hall, kindred spirits. And yeah, I bet if I'd either lost that fight or made a different choice, Rudger could have escaped, Petrus maybe could have been killed, maybe like one of my allies could have been killed. This game is unpredictable in a great many ways, and it's fascinating to see how those choices play out differently. So yeah, once I've done this playthrough, I'm definitely going to play through this again with my other save, the Let's save, just to see how much this story can evolve depending on what I as a player with trying to either roleplay or exert different morals into this world, how it reacts to me. It's really, really extraordinarily well written and has so many incredible branching options. You finally approach the black stone walls, deep at the centre of Aberrang. Petrus entrusts you to head up the stairs while he hauls Rudger away. Odilv hurls when she learns she can't join you. I guess only the important people are invited, she says. I'll try to find a place for us to rest. Where do you think is best? So yeah, setting up camp. What are my options? As far in as possible near the Great Hall, back near the gates in case we're needed. It's your call. Okay. If we go near the gates, that probably means that we're going to be in the front lines. Far in is probably safer. Man. Okay, you know what? I'm new here. I've just been kind of allowed into this inner circle. So I'm thinking near the gates, you know, kind of I don't want to like if I look at my stats here, I've got like over 1,000 people with me, including 100 giants. I've got a bunch of fighters, a bunch of clansmen. Whether or not I like it, I am kind of being thrust into the political world in this game. I don't want to set myself up near the King's Hall. I want to be near the gates, prove my worth, and then hopefully that will negate any issues going forward. Look, says Olive, we don't need to lead every charge, you know, but I'll try to find something. Okay, well, I guess maybe I've used this tactic one too many times. As Olive heads off, she looks to the top of the plateau. Up there is where we want to be. Maybe if you had the King's ear? Okay, a bit of diplomacy coming up, I think. The Black Rock Plateau casts a long indigo shadow over you like a storm cloud. As you climb the steps, the view shifts from verdant green hills into a morbid panorama of carnage and chaos. Eventually you come to stand beside rich and powerful men with long names and banners. Called before King Meinhof as you were. Hakon is there, as well as Canary. Both were given a wide berth. See these fucking Vikings and their prejudice. Like Hakon, like the Val are dope. Really dope fucking race of giants. Like, why wouldn't you want to hang out with them? And the Horseborn, yeah, sure, they're a bit violent, but come on, you're Vikings. You're not one to judge. From where you stand at the back of his enormous hall, King Meinhof looks small and withered upon the throne. Time for a replacement. He speaks slowly, as if stepping carefully through cobwebs of old memories. You can only hear bits and pieces about changes of heart and protecting the weak. Eventually you give up trying to make out the words. Suddenly the hall goes silent. Everyone has turned to stare at you. The king beckons, and you approach. With this, the king sends the crowds away and takes you aside privately. You are to be thanked in person for bringing my son home to me. Now, I'm afraid I must selfishly beg a favour of you. The road between Bosgard and Aberrang is long, especially shared with a man like Ruga. Tell me, how did you fare in his company? Ruga tried to kill me. You're not the first. Yet somehow he commands the loyalty of many. Maybe it says something about the hearts of men. I suspect you already know this, but the man has poisoned me. Oh yeah, no, I thought that was just because he was old, but maybe that's a poison. He did it when we met in good faith, to negotiate peace. My menders have been unable to find a cure. Oh, no, that's how the second game ended, right? Yeah. Yeah, Rudger betrayed everyone by poisoning the king in an attempt to take power for himself in this catastrophe. Rudger and I have something of a long and miserable history. No doubt he means to watch me wither on the throne. But perhaps you've seen his weaknesses, something which can coax an antidote from him. Convince him on my behalf. I don't know if I can do that. And in return, my clansmen have many needs. I don't want to be that the person playing that business game where I come in and find out what I'm gonna get first. I'm gonna do this favor, and hopefully that puts me in good favor later on. Am I truly the best hope for this? You're not my only smart king, but if I know Ruga, this is all part of a game, and I will use every option I have. Succeed, and you'll know my generosity. The king calls for Petrus, and soon you hear his hard boots echoing off the high ceilings. My king. Captain Petrus, our friend Rook has agreed to speak with Ruga. And Petrus, follow our guest's orders. You're now his to command as he needs. Cool, more dope people. See that this gets resolved as quickly as possible. Awesome. Well, you know what? That feels like a pretty natural break in things. We've got our setup for what we're going to be doing going forward. The opening of this game was a bit chaotic, I think. I was expecting a much slower introduction to the combat. So yeah, I apologise if I didn't explain it all properly. That kind of caught me off guard, honestly. Yeah, let's call this the end of the episode. We know what our goals are. We've got to find somewhere safe to stay, do some hero management, level some fools up, and yeah, get an antidote for the king, and hopefully stabilize this city in the face of what's to come.